very warm and hearty welcome to all of you from our team at CEE BEE. So we are here at this independent house. It's actually a 3-floored property. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the property. When we took it on, which was almost a year ago actually, at that time this was in a dilapidated condition with things coming off, no plumbing, electrical wirings were really old. So they wanted to freshen it up, give it that new look. So the biggest challenge with this property was essentially the fact that they were actually living in the property while we were working, which was obviously, as you understand, it must have been difficult for them as well as for us, because it was a case of getting one room done and then all of you shift into that room and then do the other room, specifically with the bathrooms and things like that. The kitchens, there are 2 kitchens, 2 living areas, about 4 or 5 rooms that we did. So it was a huge project. It actually took us almost a year, and well, that is it. And from here on, we'll just move ahead and I'll show you around the house, if you please. As we go in, it was quite cluttered with all the bicycles placed there and all the utilitarian things. We basically created a foyer and we made this a little, pretty nook where you could sit and welcome your guests, open your shoes and things like that. This is the full section. We paneled this so that we could hide all the wirings here and all the boxes and the connections at this place. Also, we provided some storage under the staircase to maintain the storage area which they were losing as we were beautifying this place. As we enter from the foyer, the first place that we land upon is the living area. Now this is the ground floor living area, and this section of the property is mainly used by the parents, obviously, and the visitors who come in. We wanted to keep this place really serene and calm, thinking that there were mostly elderly people who were going to be using the place. So for a splash of color, we brought in the yellow. I mean, you will see around the property, for example, these grooves, they were actually pre-existing but were in a very bad condition. We wanted to keep the character of the place, which is why we lined them with a splash of yellow. Even if you look at the jali that we have taken up to the ceiling at the back of the sofa, you will see that the design is very serene, very calm, not very geometrical, more floral, again going with the elderly couple. We've got these cornices and the cornices above the chandelier as well as the fan, giving it that much of a little bit of an ethnic look, but not very heavy, keeping it very light. And also, if you look at the units, most of these units are actually reused. For example, the one that we see here in the living section, we changed the shutters totally. We created a little bit of jali with mirror to make the place look bigger, and we painted it fully white with Duco PU, which gave it this look of really, a calm and very peaceful environment where the elderly couple could make it their own in the living space. Even in the crockery, what we did was we took off all the shutters, we used the existing structure and we repainted the whole thing with glass and jali to make the place look bigger and also make it look really welcoming. So this is the parents' room. We had to redo everything here. As you would see, we kept it really again nice and plain with a little splash of color. And what we essentially did is we created a living space for them, which is their own space. If people come and meet them, they get their own privacy to have a chat, and created this partition which is dividing it from the living area to the bedroom area. The partition is also somewhere where they could put their frames and artifacts and kind of deck it up a little bit, give it that decorative touch. Also, what we did is put the TV unit here, which is visible from the living as well as the bedroom area again. Did a little bit of paneling, a little bit of display. They have artifacts which they have collected, their children have collected. And we did the ceiling again. We did a basic ceiling in the bedroom area and some circular bends to give it a little, difference of look in the living area. Again, you will see very bland colors, very, something that makes the space look big and very welcoming. If we see on the other side, we have the bathroom. As you go into the bathroom, we created this area which is the wet and dry area, because the elderly people as well, that is very essential. We've got this basin, which is again a very decorative basin, gives it a little splash of look. So it's a very nice and very bland but classic look in the bathroom. On the other side of the living area, we find the puja unit. which we have kept pretty simple because it's used every day and it had to be made in accordance to their choice. Now moving on to the first floor, as we enter, we actually come across two sets of living area. One of the sections is pretty much done with dark wood finish with white. We've got a white Chesterfield sofa with a very unique art decor which we did on the wall. If you look closely, it's actually done with POP, but it brings out a very peaceful, with the doves flying and the leaves. It gives you a little bit of a feel of nature within the living room actually. On the other side, we've got the TV unit along with a little bit of display. So it's a mix and match of obviously again the same white and wood finish happening. Next to it, we had the fridge unit, which we wanted to slot in within the crockery so that it becomes like a set of a full unit. On the other side, we see this a little bit of a different, gorgeous Indian style looking L-shaped sofa, which gives you a lot of seating, because if you're entertaining a lot, then you've got two separate living areas to work with. And we've again got a small little vanity unit on the side here, because if you're entertaining and having your snacks here, if you look at the basin and the laminate trays, they're all color coordinated. The best thing about this room, my personal favorite actually, is the ceiling. Again, we've carried the same theme as you saw in the ground floor, which was also yellow and white, but this has got a little more decorative things happening. It's got the jali, it's got a little bit of busy floral work happening, but still kept it pretty pleasant, so it doesn't look too heavy. So the use of light and the use of this one splash of bright color, but overall a very subdued and light theme. This is Ayushi's room. She is a 13-year-old elder sister to Rishita. It's a typical room which I think a 13-year-old would want and also be functional. We've got a lot of storage, a lot of closed storage as well, for those unruly books that we have in school which don't look that pretty. And we have some for the storybooks and your knickknacks and your baskets. Plus we've got a couple of shelves, because obviously they will be having more and more things to put them away. We've got enough storage spaces. You will see two really big wardrobes, one specifically with a loft as well. And we have coordinated the furniture to keep it really, really simple with mostly white and splashes of color. So it's not too heavy, but also gives you an idea of the identity of the person who actually stays in the room. The ceiling, as you would see, is again very, very girly, very, very bright, with the purple heart happening and the flowers, and we have this one long mirror, but we didn't want to take up space for it, so we just put it behind the door here. So as you actually look through the full room, you'll see that it's aesthetically good for a child, but it's still calming because it's not a splash of too many colors. Also functionally, there is a lot of storage that we could cover. All in all, Rishita is happy, parents are happy. So we'll take you to the next room, which belongs to the younger sister. This room belongs to Princess Rishita, as we call her, and I love her room. This is actually my favorite room in the full property. It's a very unique mix of a beechwood finish with red. Again, we had to work with a little bit of a disability here, because we had these circular niches giving the elevation of the entire house that tubular look. So what we did is we turned it into the study area. We soft boarded the area around it, so she's got a nice big space to work with. Again, a lot of storage on top. If you look at the other side here, again we have a very conventional storage, but we've just built in these small little cubes into it, gave it a little bit of character, and made those into bookshelves which blend in with the full room. If we look at the headboard, it's quite unique. It's actually carried out directly from the headboard to the ceiling. So there's a continuity of the paneling all through till the ceiling, where we've got the simple tray with a little bit of shade of pink happening and a beechwood paneling. But all in all, it's a very, very functional room, but aesthetically quite different, something she can easily grow into. It's not typically a child's room, it's more of a young room. This room has a story. When we initially came to this property, this was actually a separate room. There were two different rooms and one bathroom which was attached from the end of this room on the left hand side. What we did is we actually opened up both the rooms. We merged it together. We closed off the section of the bathroom, and from the balcony we have changed the flooring here. We've got some nice paver tiles with nice circular designs with a couple of ceramic pots here. We straight away enter the puja area, or the puja room as we can call it. This actually used to be the master bathroom for the master bedroom. It was renovated and changed it into a beautiful puja area. As you see, it's a very calming effect. We've got a little bit of onyx with a light hue of the light coming out. Plus we gave a lot of storage on top as well as on the loft. And we've also created a separate counter with yellow onyx, and we've also given that basin unit so that you can wash your puja items separately. All in all, I think my clients were also extremely happy with this room, and it's come out very well designed. As I said, we took off the wall between the two rooms and created a walk-in wardrobe space, which gives them huge storage, which is always essential in a master bedroom. Just next to that, we created a bathroom. So that attached bathroom concept still remains, and as we mentioned, it was in a very bad condition. It was all mosaic floor which were broken in pieces. So we actually took off the full flooring, created this marble-like vitrified floor concept, and if you see here, what we did was we reused their bed, the structure, because it was a wedding gift and they didn't want to part with it, and the attached bedside tables. Those are the only two sections that we used. But what we did is we covered up the headboard with this leather padding to give it the new look, to give it very comfortable, functional look. And above that, as you see, there is this wooden paneling which is going right up to the ceiling and coming off as a tray. And what we did is, just to add a little bit of splash of color but still keep it classic, we went for these lacquer glass panels just in between, misaligned kind of a concept to give it that little bit of edge over a normal panel that we generally see. Just opposite we have the TV unit, which is again a very simple panel with a little bit of batten happening and wallpaper in the niche area with very minimal storage. But on the right side we have given them a storage here because they do have files and utilitarian areas, things rather, which you would always need in a master bedroom. Initially, when we were doing the drawings, we were unsure whether we wanted to cover this area and make it fully into a walk-in wardrobe with the bathroom, but I think we changed around that and created a small little nook which we could make into a study to work in privacy at the end corner of the house actually. So because we didn't close it off, we could create that and also give a small little settee if you are just having a tete-a-tete with a friend or just a normal conversation. You don't always have to go to the living room. So that's the point that we created. We could get everything, every utility into one room. The property has two kitchens. One is downstairs, which is handmade and is more conventional with a woody look to go with the living room concept that we have for the parents who are the elderly couple. So we've kept it like that. The one on the first floor here is much more contemporary and modern with a silver and white finish, so giving it a sense of space and a lot of storage for your glass crockery units and things like that. So yes, so both the kitchens are distinctively different from each other. So the staircase is actually the lifeline of the property because it's connecting all the floors together. When we saw it first, it was in a very bad condition with all the tiles coming off, the mosaic coming off actually. But we wanted to keep it simple. We didn't want it to become so heavy that it didn't blend well with time or it wouldn't look contemporary. So we just went for basic white marble, which we molded towards the end. And on the risers, we just went for some, the cubic vitrified tiles. So it's got a little bit of a quirky difference because the risers and the footrests are both different. We've got the steel strip kind of differentiating between the darker and the lighter segment. We changed the full railing because they had really old, the typical railing concept earlier. So we changed that, made it full frosted, toughened glass with your stainless steel SS finish, which I think is quite contemporary and looks really nice. Hi, we are now at the den area, which is on the second floor. This is the topmost floor actually. This is a huge area. It's covering almost all the bedrooms, space for the floors below. So this area is actually what you call multi-purpose. We've got so much happening. We've got a bar area, we've got a small little dining, a cozy dining area, a sofa cum bed, area which we designed for the pool table is currently used as a low seating, low cushion area. We have got a small little study. We've got a huge seating area where you can actually hold parties. You've got a big screen TV. You can entertain, you can spend family time. It can be a den. It could be your space of privacy. So that was the brief basically, that this is the area we have and what is the best we could do with it. And as we walk through the room, we will actually see how we have used each segment of this room into specific areas and how it's all actually blended together to give it that sense of space but still create so much utility with aesthetics. So Tanmay, thank you so much for taking out some time and talking to us while we invaded your house to take these photos.
That's absolutely okay. Yeah.
So mostly wanted to know how was it like, how was the experience? I think we have been here for more than a year, and I think the biggest challenge being the fact that you were actually living here while we were working through it from the time that we started designing. I think it's more than 1.5 years.
It's almost 2 years now, so we've gone through a tough time, but CB has done a pretty good job, and they've always been with us.
Yes, I think we've become more friends rather than which happens with interiors.
Yeah. So it was good. It was a bit of a problem for us since we were staying here, but then it was done pretty in a planned manner and all, so it was good. At the end of the day, we see a good product here. So we love this. The work has been done pretty professionally. Special thanks to Chitra because of her captaincy, and Shumon and Nikita and Shujoy. These three were always here around with us.
Right.
So entire CB design team, we would like to congratulate you. It was a very good thing done.
Thank you so much, Tanmay. Thank you. This is just a thank you note actually for people who have been watching us, encouraging us, from the team CB and Chitralekha to all of you. We really appreciate all the feedback that we get from you and also the encouragement. Please continue to do so, and if you like any of our videos, please share and like them, and please don't forget to subscribe so that you're always aware of anything new that comes up. Thank you so much.